Do you want to learn an effect? Yeah. Oh, excellent. This was the first effect I learned when I was a kid. Yeah. And for this, you need one fork, a knife, and one napkin. It's okay? Now, look. First, you put the knife in the middle of the napkin like this, and you can fold like this. Yes? This is the setup. First, now you take the fork in your hand, and you're ready to begin. It's okay. And now, look, I have a fork. When you go to the restaurant, you can do this simple effect. I fold the napkin like this, and now, it's magic. Please, with your hand like this, the magic pass. Yes. And now, incredible, because change for the knife. Now, it's a simple effect. Yes, I explain you. No, it's a simple effect. But please, remember, don't forget the fork. No, don't show the fork, because the people... Oh, no. The most important, please, never forget the water. It's not important this. Este juego es ideal para hacerlo en un restaurante.
This effect is ideal for a restaurant,
Y puedes hacerlo totalmente de impronto.
and you can perform it impromptu.
Es idea de Juan Pablo Ibáñez, un gran mago argentino.
This is an idea of a very good Argentine magician called Juan Pablo Ibáñez.
La botella que necesitarás puede ser una botella de agua, de vino, la que tengas en el
You can
momento.
use any bottle, the bottle that you have on the table.
Va a ir escondida aquí,
You must hide it here.
sujetándola con las piernas.
And I'm holding it with my legs, between my legs.
Y tienes los cubiertos así, de esta manera.
You have the fork and knife on the table like this.
Y ahora comienzo como a explicar. La idea es que les estoy explicando el secreto de un juego para que ellos lo hagan con sus amigos.
And I start telling the people that I will explain an effect so they can amaze their friends.
Entonces les cuento que necesitarán un tenedor y un cuchillo.
I say they would need a fork and a knife
Y por supuesto una servilleta.
and a napkin.
Deberán ocultar ustedes el cuchillo en la servilleta, en el medio,
So
así.
the secret is to hide the knife like this in the middle of the napkin.
Tomar el tenedor en sus manos.
Now take the fork in your hand.
El público obviamente desconoce totalmente que tú
Of
tienes
course,
la
they don't
botella
know
aquí.
that you have the bottle here.
Y le dices, y ahora estás listo para empezar.
And you say, and now you're ready to begin.
Colocas el tenedor aquí,
You put the fork here.
envuelves de esta manera con la
You start
servilleta.
rolling the fork with the napkin like this.
Y al tomar estas puntas opuestas,
And now I will take the ends.
se ha transformado el
And when you
tenedor en un
unroll, it
cuchillo.
has changed to the knife.
Entonces, claro, es como le estás explicando el juego,
So you are explaining this trick.
le dices, por favor,
So you say, please.
y en este momento viene la carga de la botella.
And
Atención
this
con
moment
esto.
I'm going to load the bottle.
El cuchillo queda en una punta,
I put the knife on the side.
levanto la servilleta y con estos dedos estoy
I lift the
sujetando la
napkin,
botella.
and between these two fingers, I'm taking the bottle.
La posición es natural porque estoy
It's
tomando.
a natural position because I'm taking the napkin like this.
Digo, por favor,
I say, please,
no muestren el tenedor.
don't show the fork.
Y por favor,
And please,
nunca olviden
never forget
la bebida.
the drink.
Te aseguro que sorprende mucho.
And you can be sure that this is very surprising.
You know, if you go out to eat a lot, you probably see that some of the restaurants have, well, I guess kind of cheap silverware. And I was out dining last night and I borrowed a spoon from the restaurant that I was in, and I noticed it really wasn't that well made. I mean, it looks solid and everything, but it's kind of flimsy. I mean, it bends very easily. It's almost rubbery, but it goes right back to its original condition. I mean, very solid. I guess if you really wanted to bend a spoon, you'd have to apply a lot of pressure. Of course, that's destroying public property, so you have to bring it back to the way that it was before. And there is a better way to bend it, and that would be to fold it right in half. Oh, but I've broken it, so I'm going to have to get rid of the evidence. After all, I am a magician. Of course, now there's a problem. I don't have anything to finish my dinner with, but that's okay. I can use the extra spoon I keep right here.
That's great.
Thanks. Spoon bending is a very popular form of dinner magic. You see the spoons around all the time, and it's almost irresistible. Just about every magician has the urge to bend the spoon, and sometimes it'll come up in conversation about the psychics that can do that kind of stuff. So I put together soft silverware, which is this 3-phase routine on spoon, where each phase gets progressively better and more magical than the one before. First phase is kind of hokey. It's the coin bending illusion done with a spoon. You can do it with all kinds of objects. And you show the spoon, show how solid it is, supposedly talk about, that it's not made very well. And then put your fingers in front of most of it and then act like you bend it. Now this is a very deceptive illusion, but very easy to do, but you just have to act. It's almost all acting. And all you're doing is letting your thumbs ride up and just arcing your hands a little bit, pushing in like this. So it pushes the spoon back. What's interesting about it that makes it look really good is that the spoon has a little bend here, and your fingers roll in a little bit closer, and it makes it look like that straightens out. So you get the idea that it's really bending. And you do that a couple of times, and if anybody catches it, it's not a big deal. If they see it behind you, it's nothing major. And then you drop it onto the table, and it's straight again, back to its solid original condition. Now you're going to pick it up and do the traditional spoon bending, but with an alternate handling that I came up with so that there are no fingers beneath. Traditionally, your little finger is below the spoon handle, and it looks very hokey. As far as I'm concerned, it looks like you're supporting the whole spoon behind your hand. So what I decided to do was to put the spoon in my fist with no fingers underneath it and let it come out except for my little finger. So now the handle rides down on the first knuckle of my little finger, and I can lift my hand up. The bowl is unsupported from the front, so it really looks like the spoon has to be bent. So you do all the actions, okay? And to get it to stay down deeper, I hook the handle of the spoon underneath the base of my thumb. So it rides down, hook it underneath the base of my thumb, and then take my other hand away. So here's the exposed view from the front. It really looks like there's no support, and it's got to go up somewhere in my fist. That's what you've got. And then you just flatten the whole thing back out to the table again, raise your hand up. Now I orient the spoon about 8 inches away from the edge of the table with the bowl on the left-hand side, because now I'm going to lap it, but I don't want it to look like a lapping move. Instead, I want it to look like I'm picking it up for that bending thing again, so it's got a similar feel to it. I use my right hand to grab the handle right at the same point, bring the spoon back toward the edge of the table, and then bring my left hand up to cover the bowl. Now as that happens, my left little finger touches the table and the spoon drops at the same time, and then I lift my hands up. So I touch it, hits the table, the spoon drops. So that way I know that I'm not going to show the spoon actually going into my lap. It's a very simple thing to do, and you've just done the flat to the table with the hand. You turn it, you pick it up again, and then you bring it forward. So there's nothing here, but you do as much acting as you can. Act like you're smashing the spoon down, folding it in half, and then act like you've broken it, and now you get rid of the evidence. Of course, there's nothing there to begin with. Now the spoon's in a very good position in the lap to get at it without having to drop your hands underneath the table. Because all you need is your index finger and thumb of your left hand to grab the handle or the bowl of the spoon, whatever you can get at most easily. For me, it's usually the bridge between the handle and the bowl. I can pick that up very easily. That seems to always fall in the right place. So as you do that, you look around the table. There's no spoon out here. You lean on the edge of the table and pick it up so this hand never falls all the way below, and then carry it underneath your arm. The handle of the spoon goes underneath my right arm as my hand comes up, and I grab the bowl and act like I extract it to bring it back to the table. So it's almost as if the spoon vanishes from here and comes back up my sleeve, supposedly. And that's soft silverware.
You've probably seen these before. Would you take a look at those? Would you take a look at that, dear? These are some spoons. Oh, where do you get them from? You know, from Denny's and any of the places. I'm actually trying to collect the whole set myself. We need to, what do we need to do? We need to get a little static electricity. That's what we need to do. Just rub it on your sleeve or on your hair or something like that. Just build a little static up. That's great. Let's see if we can do this here. You got it there? You were starting to enjoy that, weren't you? Let's see if we can create this illusion where it looks like the static is going to hold. Stay. There it is. It looks like it's solid through. Easy, easy, easy. Just pull and take a look at that and just try to, in fact, give John a set. Just let's rub it on the sleeve. You get one, rub it on your sleeve. Go ahead, just rub it on there. Just try to connect them now, if you will. Just grab one and grab the other. Any way you want. If you have a better way, you can do it a better way. Keep it going. Keep it going. You know why? You're not concentrating. You got to concentrate. Rub it on your hair. Well, no, you better not. No. You've done this before, I see, huh? I'm just kidding. I did notice you did comb your hair, though. It's a shame you left it at home. Oh, enough of that. Hey.
Hey, I'm not losing my hair. I'm just getting taller.
There you go. Look at this guy. Isn't it a shame when cousins marry? All right. Just kidding. Come on. Come on. It is brutal, but it's fun. We're having a good time. No knife? No. Okay. Let's see if we can do this again here. Stay. There it is. Solid through, solid. And you can examine all that there. If you like to perform magic at friends' houses, in restaurants, the spoon spinner is perfect because you're using any two spoons you like, a rare earth magnet, and a thumb tip. Just drop the magnet inside the thumb tip, insert your thumb, and that's it. The rest is your acting and all kinds of fun. Just by rubbing it on the sleeve has nothing to do with it. By taking the thumb and the magnet and putting it about this part of the spoon, right off the bottom part, it is so strong the magnet will actually pick up the other spoon. By showing it straight on, and make sure you get all your fingers out of the way except for your middle finger to hide the thumb tip, because if you do this here, they won't understand what's going on and there's no magic to it. Just take it, so you have just the one finger hiding it by giving it a spin. And of course, when you take the spoons away, they can try it all they want. You're taking away the magnet and the thumb tip, so they won't be able to repeat what you just did.
Corrine, Lloyd, once again, I'd like to show you some magic with 4 coins and a coffee cup. These are $50, 50-cent pieces, silver coins. Watch the cup, watch the coins, because if I hold the hands in exactly the right position, you know, 1 coin has traveled to that cup, and there it is, which leaves just 3 coins still to go. Perhaps you'd like to see that again. Yes. I'd be happy to do it for you. That's the first one. You won't see it, but sure enough, you can always hear it. And that's the second one the same way, which leaves just 2. 2 coins to go. 2 coins have already gone across. How many here?
2.
Just 2. 2 coins, $50. How many here? Just 2. 2 coins, $50. 2. Once again, watch the third coin go. Watch the last one go. Must be hush money, because there are all 4 coins.
Good. Good.
Thanks. This will be the explanation for the coins to cup routine. You need 4 coins. I decided to work out a routine that only used 4 coins in the cup, so there'd be no extra coins to worry about. And I also wanted to make it a very direct, simplified handling, because you never know exactly what the surface will be like at a dinner table. You never know exactly what the cup will be like. So this is a very safe, real-world handling of the effect. You show the 4 coins. You're going to toss them into the left hand, catch them at the fingertips. You're going to retain 1. That's the benzeus friction palm, a very, very natural way of retaining a coin. Settles into a fist, and as you give a little shake, so they can hear the coins in the left hand, as the right hand moves to the cup, you classic palm the coin. The big movement covers the little movement. The coin is on the fingertips, but as you go for the cup, it's classic palmed. Hold the cup from above, bring the hands together, make a tossing motion, or blow at the left fist. As you release the coin from the right palm into the cup, coin number 1, open the left hand, revealing just 3 coins. You're going to do the same move again, exact same move. You're going to toss 2 coins in, retaining 1. You're going to palm that coin as you pick up this one and drop it into the cup. Give it a little shake so they can hear the coins. hold the cup from above, again, either a tossing motion or blowing at the fist, just a moment of misdirection to bring them over here while the clink occurs over here. The second coin goes through the same way, which leaves just 2. Once again, this time you're going to do a very direct hand ping chen move. Show 2 coins in each hand, shake 2 here, and as you shake these 2 here, you're going to classic palm these 2 coins in the right hand by pushing them into the palm. It really doesn't matter if it makes any noise because they're supposed to be 2 coins in your hand, but now they're classic palm. Again, show 2 coins only in the left hand, pick them up, roll them down to this position so that you can rest your hand on the table. Show 2 coins in the left hand, 2 coins in the right hand via the hand ping chen move. Again, these are rolled down. You're apparently going to slap down the coins from the right hand, but it's the coins from the left fist that come out instead. These coins stay here. They are dropped into the cup one by one. The cup is held from the top. The third and the fourth coin are allowed to drop together at the same time. This permits you to do an interesting move at the finish. They hear the third coin arrive, and then you toss the last one up into the air. It makes no sound. The coin is gone. The patter line is, there it goes, here it comes. Did you hear it? They say no. You say, must be hush money because look, there are all 4 coins, which is very impressive because the last thing they saw you do was very cleanly drop 2 coins into the cup. Then they hear the third one arrive, the fourth one they don't arrive, they don't hear it arrive, and yet all 4 coins come out of the cup. A very direct, straightforward, easy coins to cup routine.
Well, this is interesting. I mean, that seems to be a normal roll, doesn't it?
Yep.
Well, it's all practical. Smells like bread.
Yeah.
Feels like bread.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, if I just snap, it changes completely. I mean, it still looks like a roll, only now it's made out of rubber. It's made out, I'll prove it, see? Whoa! So you got to be careful when you eat the chef surprise around here. Well, let's see. I'll tell you what else I can try. Let me see. Let me get it just right here. Okay, this is kind of a dangerous thing to do with a roll, but let's see. If I can just cast a shadow over it like this, it starts to change again. This time, it becomes lighter than air. Starts to float. Whoa, whoa, wait.
Oh my gosh.
It's a floating roll. But wait, whoa. It's gone. Well, that's how you make bread rise, I guess. This fun illusion can be done with anything you can hold in your hand. The illusion portion of this effect takes place below the level of the table. So whenever you do this, make sure you can guard against someone seeing what actually happens below the table. See, the hand holding the roll makes an exaggerated motion for throwing the roll to the floor, but it doesn't let go of the roll. Instead, as soon as it passes below the viewer's line of vision, it turns and sharply flicks upward. Be sure not to show the motion of the upward flick with your upper arm and shoulders, and the roll will come back into view looking exactly as if it had just bounced like a rubber ball. You can even stomp your foot at the moment the roll would have bounced on the floor to add the illusion of sound. I hope you'll give it a try because it's really neat. Now, as far as the floating roll is concerned, this is interesting. You take a fork and you place it into the corner of a roll. Now, this is going to be sitting in your lap, covered with your napkin. You'll place the roll right on to the center of the table, and as you pick up the napkin, what's going to happen is that roll and the fork is going to dangle behind the napkin. As you'll come over the roll, you'll kind of kick the visible roll into your lap as you cover what seems to be that roll. Now, here's what your situation is, but it seems as if just a roll is there, And then what you'll do is just seem to lift the roll while holding the corners of the handkerchief. And boy, it sure looks as if the roll is floating. You can even bring it up to the edge of the handkerchief, just like this, or the napkin, so that they can see a view of the floating roll, and then it takes off again. Now, to make everything disappear, again, here's what's taking place behind. As you come down to the edge of the table, just let go of the fork as you flick the napkin like that, and everything will seem to disappear.
You take one of those, and you take one of those. Now this is a little game. We're going to see who can take their napkin and make it into the smallest bundle. So just take your napkin and just start wadding it into the tightest possible ball that you can. Get it real, real small. How do you look? Did you get near that? Just get real as small as you can.
Close.
Oh. That's definitely small. Hey, that's as small as you can get. Thank you. This is another napkin trick. I love napkin tricks because you can find napkins in any restaurant, in any bar. Now, this is an idea of Carol Fox's. What you do is you take a napkin and you grab it by one corner and you stroke it down so that you have diagonal corners. You make it in the longest form you can. If you did it this way, you wouldn't have quite the length, plus you need this corner for the routine. What you do is you hold it here and you grip it, and now you grip it right here with your index finger and thumb. Now, with your little finger and your ring finger and your second finger, you pull down and you grip the top of the napkin with your thumb and index finger. So what you're doing is you're breaking it. So I now have a separation between the top corner piece and the rest of the napkin. This, of course, is done this way. And this can be done in the process of stroking the napkin and talking about it. Now we have a break here. We have the small piece and the napkin proper, but from the front it still looks like one piece. Now this hand comes forward and it starts to accordion pleat or bundle the remainder of the napkin into the hand. It's more of a up-down action, up, down, up. This isn't critical that it has to be a napkin accordion fold, just as long as the majority of the napkin is placed into the palm. Now at this point, they still think it's one piece. At this point, the napkin is grabbed this way from the front. This hand just comes up to grab this piece, and it pulls it away like this, as this hand, my right hand, comes down with the napkin. It's very simple. It looks like you're grabbing the whole thing. This goes down to the edge of the bar where it drops the napkin on the floor. Now, the audience thinks the whole napkin is in my left hand. Now, there's two ways to finish this routine. One way is to literally make the napkin disappear, and that's to crumble and crumble as though you're making it smaller and smaller and smaller until you get a little teeny piece. And now, because this piece is so small, it's very easy to conceal. This is rolled into a little ball, and now this hand comes forward as though taking the ball into my right hand, but what I actually do is a repeat of the first motion, which is this hand just going south with the piece, because I'm going to drop that on the floor also. And it's going to look like I'm transferring it from here to here. The real misdirection is when this hand comes over and the piece is apparently placed into the right hand starts to maneuver or twist as though it's making the ball into an even smaller, tighter package. And as this is happening, this hand strictly comes down. You don't have to do any palming or anything because they can't see that little piece. It's behind your index finger. And as this rolling, you turn sideways as though you're watching it get smaller and smaller and smaller. Now that's the complete vanish of the handkerchief, the napkin. Carol Fox's other idea is to start exactly the same way, break the napkin, And the object here, when you tell what you tell the spectators when you begin the routine is not that you're going to make the handkerchief or the napkin vanish at all. It's that you're going to make it into a smaller package than they can with their napkin. So you give a napkin to them, you take a napkin, and as you're doing your movements, they're doing exactly what you're doing. So you do the same thing, you fold this all up into your right hand, you do the transfer, you drop this on the floor. Now they're doing the same thing, but they of course have the whole napkin in their hand. Now you say whoever can roll it into the tightest ball wins. And obviously you're going to have a much smaller ball than they will because you have a much smaller piece of paper. Now you can either end this way by giving them the piece to match their larger piece that they lost the bet, or you could finish the routine the same way you did the other one by making the small piece completely disappear. It's a truly impromptu trick and it's a good one.
Here I have a little trick with
Napkin.
I'm glad you're here. You see I have a speech sediment. I'm going to change this into something else. Ready?
Okay. A coin.
A bird.
A bird.
A ball!
A ball.
Oh.
You stole my line, buddy. Okay, this is Peter and this is Pam.
Pam or Pan?
I'm sorry, this is Peter and that's Pam. Now, the idea is to throw Peter over there and Pam and they get together.
Oh my God.
Now that if you take,
Wait. Do that.
watch, Shazam.
Wow.
Shazam, where'd you come from?
You always find them hanging around the oddest places. The next trick I would like to show you was actually inspired by Tony Slidini. That's why I'm calling it Slide Napkins. I watched him do the one coin routine and I was so impressed with that I had to try and do something, but I didn't want to copy him. So I came up with this little routine, and it turns out to be an impromptu routine. I usually perform it in bars where they have these little square bar napkins. I pick up the napkin, and if you tear along the middle fold, you'll notice that it always divides exactly in two. I use the little gag about when I roll the ball up, I'm changing it to something else, and I say it's going to change into a ball. And I do the same with the other one. Okay, the first sequence I set them out there, and I might say a few little jokes about it. But the first move is I just do the basic vanish. I put the thumb in the ball, come over here, and that's it. It's just a basic vanish with the ball. Then I reach over here, grab the ball, this other ball, holding it here like this, and move it into my hand, wiggle my thumbs, and the two balls have gathered together. Very basic moves. Now I pick this up here and I hold it deep in my fingers. Okay? And I bring it back to the lap and I hold my palm up like this. When I raise my hand from the table, I pretend to put it in my hand and then I show my hand's empty. Then I show the other ball and I basically just do a basic vanish here and show it gone. Now I reach around my arm here to produce this ball. As I do, I put my other hand into the lap, I produce this, drop the napkin on the table, then I reach around this arm and produce that ball and drop that on the table. And it turns out to be an extremely good impromptu routine.
Corrine and Lloyd, I'd like to show you a classic of coin magic with 6 $50, 50-cent pieces, silver coins, and that is a copper English penny, a copper coin from England. It's about the same size, but it's a different color. Watch very closely. 3 $50 in the English penny go in this hand, 3 $50 by themselves over here. Now the idea is simple. I want to put one hand under the table, keep one hand on top, then cause these 3 coins to go right through the table so all the coins will end up over here. It would be very impressive, quite magical.
Yes.
But I get the feeling that you look a little bit suspicious. Maybe you want to see the coin. So how many coins here? Just 3 $50,
Yeah,
right.
3.
And how many coins here?
There's 4.
That's right, 3 $50 in the English penny, the coin from England.
Right.
So we have 3 $50, 1 English penny. These coins This hand with these coins go under the table. This hand stays on top. Through the table, and sure enough, all 7 coins.
Wow.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Not bad.
Very good.
This is a different version of the coins through the table. In this particular version, the coins go through the table 3 at a time. This is the Han Ping Chen coin trick devised by Han Ping Chen at the turn of the century, an actual Chinese magician from China. Little did he know how popular the trick he devised would become and how many variations magicians would work out. I'm going to show you some variations that I have not done on my other tapes, even though I have taught the Han Ping Chen, not these particular handlings. 6 $half and a ring, which you may borrow from a spectator or use your own. Show the coins, 3 coins in each hand, and the ring very plainly with the right hand coins. Now you're going to do a slight sucker move. You're going to bring your hands together and apart very quickly like that. You want to make the spectators suspicious at this point. There's a patter line that goes with this. The patter line is I'm going to put my right hand underneath the table, then drive these 3 coins through the table so that all the coins will be in this hand. Now after you make the quick sucker move and go under the table, you leave 3 of the coins gripped between your thighs. In other words, if these are your legs under the table with a napkin over them, you take these coins underneath the table and you leave the coins, not the ring, in between your legs, just like that, gripped this way, between your legs, by their edges, and this will make it much easier to grab them later on. They're held like that, but there's a napkin there, so there's no danger of them falling through, and in this position, when you go under the table later, you'll be able to grab them with certainty. So, this is the position. You make a quick sucker move. You say the coins in this hand will go through the table. You leave the 3 coins between your thighs, come back up with the ring. As you say, they'll go through, and all the coins will be in this hand. Now, because of that sucker move, the spectators may or may not be suspicious. It really doesn't matter because you're going to show them the coins again anyway, which is exactly what you do. Give a little shake and slap down 3 coins, saying, no, only 3 coins, nothing has happened yet. I pick up these 3 coins. At this point, you're going to roll them down so they can be gripped at the bottom of the fist, resting on the table. In this position, it's going to be very easy to release them just by moving your left hand away. And that's exactly what you do, but you do it in the action of slapping the coins down from the right hand. Now remember, all you have in the right hand is the ring, but they think you have 3 coins in the ring, so when you say 3 coins in the left hand and 3 coins in the ring over there, you have a perfect illusion of the coins coming from the right hand, and because the right hand is empty afterwards, you're not palming anything, as in some other methods, the other 3 coins are in your lap, this is an extremely clean sequence. Now you can pick up the 3 coins in the ring, show it very, very cleanly. This hand hasn't gone anywhere near the edge of the table. Go under the table, again, touch the forearm to the edge, double back, pick up the 3 coins that are held between your legs, your thighs. As you drive these through the table, the coins are gone, the right hand comes up with all 6 coins and the ring, and the first penetration is complete. You offer to repeat it. You're now going to do a method that is so diabolically clever, it could replace the Han Ping Chen move altogether. One could make a very good case for this being the cleanest possible method of putting 3 coins through a table, because it does not use a Han Ping Chen move. It's cleaner. Show the 3 coins. Show the ring. Once again, there's no sucker move at this point. There's no going under the table, leaving something on your lap and coming back up. You're starting directly from this position. The left hand slaps its coins onto the table. Left hand picks them up and rolls them down to the heel of the hand again, as if you were going to do a Han Ping Chen, but you're not going to do a Han Ping Chen. What you're going to do is lap these 3 coins all at the same time, and to cover the noise of the coins hitting your lap, you'll be slapping down the coins from the right hand. It's a perfect illusion. The sound is perfect. The coins hit the table at the same time that the 3 coins hit my lap. I'll do it again. Watch. 3 and 3 in the ring. These get rolled down to here. 3 coins in this hand, 3 coins over there. Nothing to see. The misdirection is built in because this is very strong misdirection. Everyone looks here. The sound factor is very convincing. You can again show an empty hand with only 3 coins in the ring. Go back to the edge of the table, go underneath, double back, pick up the coins in your lap, drive them through, show that they're gone, bring up the hand with all 6 coins and the ring, and you've sent the 3 coins through the table. Again, you've done the trick twice, the hen ping chen coin trick. It's a wonderful effect, the perfect after-dinner trick.
Who's got a quarter? You got a quarter? Oh, we got a middle gentleman back here that'll loan you one, Michelle. I'll do a sweet little trick for you, honey. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can find this. Yeah, there it is. Where's the quarter? Where's the quarter? Okay, put it down right there, and we'll sticker it. We'll call that sticker number 1. Turn it over, the coin. We'll call that sticker number 2. Then take the magic marker. Which side do you want?
Heads.
Whichever. One side or the other. Just write your initials for me. Write your initials for me. And just because this is so much fun and you mean so much to me, I'll put my initials, SY, on the other side. Okay. SY and MG. Is that right? Good. Okay, wait a minute. Pick a sugar packet, or sweet and low if you happen to use it. Okay, wave it over my hand. It's gone. Tear open the sugar packet. Wait, pour it in my hand, pour it in my hand. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Wait a minute. What's on the other side? Is that your initials?
G, yeah.
Let's hear it for Michelle. This is a real quick little trick. In fact, it happens so quick that they really don't know what's happened to them. I borrow the quarter, if you'll recall, and I put a sticker on each side of the coin. Now, the interesting thing about this is that the size of these stickers, they're 3/4 of an inch, mask that coin, so you really can't tell which side's the head and which side's the tail without looking at it pretty close. It basically just looks like a little bit of silver around a white label. Then, if you'll recall, I have the spectator put his or her initials on one side of the coin. I turn the coin over and put my initials on the other side of the coin. And I always write an SY. Okay? So there's the coin with the SY on it. Now, under the bar, I have one of these little sugar containers. Before I do the trick, I arrange to switch this sugar container in for the sugar container that's up and down the bar. I have a set of these, one every 3 or 4 feet, immediately under where the sugar containers are normally on the bar. All the sugar containers in here have been prepared. I've cut the ends off each pack and inserted a quarter with stickers on both sides with my initials on both sides. Every packet has one, including the sweet and low. Okay? So now we're set to do the trick. She's labeled the coin. I'm sorry. Chris has labeled the coin. I show the coin on both sides, do a simple coin pass, just retaining the quarter with that pinch. I just do a simple coin pass. Apparently I have the coin in this hand. I reach over for the sugar container, move it in front of the spectator, say take out a packet of sugar and just wave it over my hand. As she waves it or he waves it, it's gone. Quickly tear open the package and dump it out in my hand. Now as soon as it's dumped out, she's going to see a quarter, or he's going to see a quarter with my initials on it. I pinch to hold the coin and dump the sugar into the other hand on top of the other coin and show her the other side, which has her initials on it. As I brush my hands here, I just drop the coin into my apron that came out of my hands. So it's done very quickly, and it's a wonderful, wonderful trick that just fools the heck out of people. Then as I'm cleaning the sugar off the bar, I set this sugar container down, bring the normal one up when I'm done, and switch that one out in case anybody wants to grab a packet of sugar and look at it. So that's the marked coin in the sugar packet. The beauty of this is you can use this double-faced coin for this quarter in a world of different tricks. At one time, this was the premise for one of my coin in the watch handlings, and I've used it for a lot of other things. So it's a real good principle. Put a sticker on both sides, have her initial or the one spectator initial one side, I initial the other. Then if I have a coin with my initials on both sides, when it comes out of anything, it can be switched out after the fact and look real good. So that's a great principle that we tied into a nice little trick at the bar. It's called the marked coin in the sugar packet.
With this next routine, I'm going to make a prediction first. Okay, I have my prediction written down here on this little napkin. I'll set that right there. Why don't we use something here? Oh, how about these sugar packets? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to number these. How about 1, 2, do a 3, and a 4, and a 5, and a 6, and a 7. Okay? Now, 1 through 7, here's my prediction. Would you please pick all of the sugar packets up? Gather them in your hand as though you were shaking dice. Just give them a good shake. Now, when you shake them out, all of the sugar packets that land with the number face up will be left. All of the ones with the numbers face down will eliminate. And we'll keep doing that until we just arrive at one sugar packet. Okay? Let's see what we've got. Number. Wow. 5 of them don't show, so these are eliminated, okay? I'll do it one more time with the last 2. This is an hour tape. Are we going to be surprised? She did it! Okay, we can get rid of that one. So we've eliminated, and we've eliminated, and now I'll show you my prediction. A tree. Huh? Well, you can do this too, you know. Lay people like magic when it's performed with objects that they're familiar with, especially ungaffed or unprepared things. This one seems unprepared, but there is a little preparation. If you're in a restaurant, find the sugar bowl and take one packet and make a little pencil mark someplace on the face of it so that you can recognize it. On the back, you write the number 2 with a magic marker here in the corner. So that's the only preparation. Now this packet goes on the top and it's set off to the side. Now when you perform the routine, you bring the sugar pack forward and you take them out, and of course this top one here is the one that I've prepared. Set the bowl aside and just spread them out. No one knows what's going to happen, no one's watching for anything, but of course you keep track of which one has the marking on it, which is this one here. Now you start taking the packets one at a time with your marker and writing numbers. No marker. You'd write 1. You just pick any one of these, any one of the ungaffed ones, and write 1. Then you pick up the gaffed one, which has your little mark on it, and you write 2 on there. So you will have a 2 on both sides. Basically, it's like getting a double-headed coin or a double-tailed coin. So you write the number 2 here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you continue your numbers. Then you ask the person to assemble all of the packets, to shake them up in their hand, and to drop them on the table. Then you spread these out, and you eliminate all of the sugar packets that do not have a number showing. Now in this situation we actually can't see because I haven't written numbers on them, but I do know by looking that this would be a 2 because in this situation the 2 that I wrote previously is face down, but remember we'd have another 2 on this side. This one will always show a 2. That's why we're always eliminating the sugar packets that show no numbers. So let's assume that these 4 right here land face down and the numbers are toward the close-up pad. These are the 4 that would be eliminated. You ask the person to assemble the packets one more time, shake them up. Okay, now in this situation you will see one of these will have a 2 showing because it'll always show a 2. You take the other ones, the ones that don't show the marks, as many times as it takes to eliminate all of the packets until you get down, I haven't been watching, but until you get down to the point of having, this is the one with the 2 on both sides. Shake them up again. We look at it, we eliminate these 2 because their markings, let's say, are on the bottom, and you end up with one sugar packet that has a 2 on it. Now this is a clever force. You can write the number 2 on a piece of paper before the trick begins. You can take one of the sugar packets and say, I'm going to make a prediction, and on the packet you write, you will select number 2. And this packet can be placed aside at the beginning of the trick. So first you've made your prediction, you set that aside, you bring out the sugar packets, you mark them 1 through 8 or whatever. You do the shaking and elimination process, and you eventually end up with one packet which has a 2 on it. You reveal your prediction, and of course it is a number 2. Hope you have fun with it.
Have you ever matched like heads or tails for coffee in the morning, something like that? Well, by now you must be aware, David, I could cheat. But just a little bit, enough to win, you know. And I'll show you how. I could catch that coin. I could catch it between my fingers, you see. And when I came over here, I can see whether it's heads or tails. Now, if I wanted it to be heads, I would come off like this. If I wanted it to be tails, I'd flop it down and have it be tails, see. So you wouldn't stand the chance. So I'm going to do it under an object where I can't touch it. The glass, but you have a bigger advantage than I do. You can tell whether it's heads or tails, right? So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to opaque the glass. I'm going to take a piece of newspaper, like so, and cover the glass. Now, I can't get near it, and at the same time, you can't see it, okay? But it does have, by the way, a head, and it does have a tail, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm going to place it under the... David, I'm going to ask you, is it heads or tails? You take a guess.
Heads.
You lose, David. It's tails. Don't look so disappointed. Everyone else does also.
Wait a minute, let's try that.
Okay, one more time, all right. Heads or tails, David?
You call it.
No, 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 it's your game. I can always win.
Heads.
Heads, second time.
Heads.
Tails, you lose a second time, David. One more chance, 2 out of 3. I mean, or 3 out of 3. No, I'll give her a chance in a moment. Go ahead, heads or tails?
Heads.
You're much too easy. Tails, you lose again. Now, I'm going to try it with Marilee. Okay, Marilee? Okay. Once again, heads or tails?
Tails.
Tails. I knew that. You lost heads. Let me try some of the rest of the people in the audience. How about this young lady here? Heads or tails?
Tails.
Tails. You lose. Oh, there's a blemish there. When that happens, I make the coin disappear. The blemish, I should say. Watch very carefully. See, give me your hand, Marilee. I'm going to ask you to count to 3, tap the glass, and say go. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, no, not the glass. Not the glass, guys. For God's sake. No. I'll show you what I wanted to do. You misunderstood me. See, here, blow. See, the coin goes. I reach over here by David. There's the coin. Up here by your elbow is the glass, and we're back in business. Thank you very, very much. My version of the glass through the table is based on Max Maloney's thinking and a wonderful subtlety by T. Nelson Downs from his book, The Art of Magic. The subtlety allows the audience to truly believe right up until the last moment that the glass is under the paper shell. This is accomplished by affixing a copper coin. The reason I say copper is because it has a higher ring than the $50 we're using today. I affix it with Scotch tape and leave as much of the coin exposed to allow it to ring clearly. I also use a tabloid-sized paper because it's just exactly right to cover the glass, provide you with enough cover, yet not too much cover. This is folded and placed into my pocket. My routine, like Mulaney's, is based on a gambling theme. When I reach the point of covering the coin with the glass and explaining that they can see whether it's heads or tails, I offer to opaque it by bringing out the paper. I open it, and I'm careful to place the coin directly on top of the glass, which is easy because it is centered on the paper. Now, instead of the standard fold of wrapping a cone around the glass, I use Mulaney's idea, which is to just crush the paper around the glass. There's a reason for this. It affords you more cover from every angle, you see, because even if there are people looking from behind you, you have more than enough cover to lap the glass. This is done like so. If this corner is touched here, that's the moment to drop the glass. The routine begins with the coin underneath the opaque glass. Now I start with the tails up. The reason for this is most people will always say heads. And if they do, you can raise this and say you lose its tails. Now, if they say tails, you turn to them and say, have you ever won much at this game? Regardless of their answer, you say, I'm going to make you an instant winner all the time. This way, when you raise it and they say tails, you're covered in either direction. Now, you do this until you get a miss. And at that moment, and by the way, this is very important, just prior to that, on the audience's responses, I always relax and bring my hand back in advance of taking the cover off the coin. When I'm ready to lap the glass, my hand comes back. As the point touches here, the glass is dropped and caught, this is very important, by my left hand. If you allow the glass to just fall in your lap, it's liable to bounce and fall off. This once happened to me in performance at the Magic Castle. I was quite lucky. I felt it sliding down my legs, and I said, watch it. I went bang, and you heard the crash of the glass, and the people were startled. It was a different finish, but one you don't want to do more than you have to. Anyway, the glass is pushed forward between your knees so that even anyone in behind you or alongside of you won't be able to see it. Now this is replaced, but before it is, you pick up the coin and kind of haphazardly or absent-mindedly, you throw it on top. You throw it on top, and they will hear that audible clink, that slight audible clink. And let me do that again. That's enough to convince them the glass is still there. Now this is placed underneath, and you offer to make your blemish disappear, the wrong side being up. You cover it. You take a spectator on your left. You say, I'm going to ask you to tap the glass, say go, and the coin will disappear. I repeat it without saying the coin, and I say, tap it. When they tap, I actually push down and force them to collapse this. I crush it into a ball, and I say, no, no, not the glass, I meant the coin. I toss this aside. I say, let me show you what I mean. I do another retention vanish. I say blow, the coin is gone. I reach over and reproduce it from the spectator on my right ear. In the meantime, I pick up the glass and move it behind the table to behind their body, which acts as a screen. And I conclude the effect by reproducing the glass from the spectator's elbow.
Oh, well, it's nice to relax and just have some coffee, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, but not black. No, definitely not. I never use those creamers. You don't know how long they've been sitting out. So I only like to use fresh milk in my coffee. Oh, it's okay. I brought my own cow.
Oh,
Yeah, she's right here. It's an invisible cow. Come here, this way. There you go. Excuse me. Good girl. Okay, stay right there. All right, great. Perfect. All right, move along. That's much better. You want some? It's good. How about something kind of weird with a table knife here and some salt? Okay. I'll show you something that you might not have known about this. You can actually magnetize the metal so that it attracts the grains of salt. It's pretty weird. Okay. You put them on like that, dump them all off in a little pile. And then just by waving the knife over the grains of salt, they're actually attracted up onto the knife. See?
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Let me wipe those off. I'll show it to you again. See? Just wave it, and the grains of salt are attracted up onto the knife.
Wow.
And you can do it on both sides, too. You can wave it again and get some to go onto the other side as well.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty neat. Huh? Isn't that
That's
cool?
really neat,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. Actually, I think I've magnetized this knife enough that I can try the most difficult way to do it with the salt. This is the most difficult way of all.
Wow.
Yeah. See, that way it attracts all of the salt in the whole shaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of weird because like all of this magic is kind of making me hungry, so don't want to wait too much for the food. Hope you don't mind if I eat something before all of you. Little appetizer. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Good. Yeah, it needs a little salt. You're right. You don't actually think I'm going to do that, do you?
Oh my.
Oh, that's good. That hits the spot. Yeah. Oh, we've got all this salt here on the table. It's okay. We'll do a little something for luck.
Yes.
And I'll show you something neat. We'll try to clean this up as much as we can. Watch, solid glass. And 1 grain of salt has actually gone through the bottom and back inside the shaker. I'll do it again. Another one's gone through. This could take a while. I'll speed it up. Yeah, I'll speed it up. Now see 2 grains are missing from the pile. You see that? All right, I'll speed it up a little more. Oh, that's cheating. Oh. Actually, I think I blew too hard.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's weird. So if you need some salt, you can just use the salt right from that pile there. It may not be enough for you. So here, maybe I'll just stretch it out.
Oh.
We'll start with the milking the invisible cow. And you need creamers, little plastic creamers, and your coffee, and a toothpick. And you poke a hole in the center of the creamer, a nice round hole like that. And when this is held upside down, it doesn't drip very much. And maybe a couple of drops will come out of it. So you can keep it inside your hand underneath the table until you're ready to do the whole invisible cow thing. This can actually stay inside your lap. It doesn't have to be held in your hand until later. So it's in your lap. Then you talk about the invisible cow and you lead it into place. And then as you bring your hand up from underneath the table, you turn the creamer so that it's inverted with the whole side down, the lid side down. Inside your right hand, you bring both hands together like this, and you'll just be squeezing the creamer inside your hand as you do a pulling action, like you're milking a cow. And then when you shoo the cow away, you just ditch the creamer, you lap it, and you say, thank you, that's fine, and your hands are empty at that point, and then you can drink your coffee. Okay? So that's milking the invisible cow. Now that is probably the second best thing that you can do with a creamer. If you're familiar with Matt King's Fork in the Eye, that's probably the best one, but it's a lot messier than even this. Now, the salt paddle with the knife, where you magnetize the knife and you make the salt jump back onto it. Very simple to do. Just before you pick up the knife, you lick your finger. And then you take your moistened finger and you touch the knife, and that leaves a spot of moisture on it. Okay? So you touch the knife like that. Then you immediately pour salt onto the knife. And when you dump it off, you dump it toward yourself, but I'll dump it forward so that you can see the spot of salt that stays right there. Now, normally you don't talk so much in between, so you'll get a much nicer round bit of salt that stays right on the knife. Okay? And you do that dumping toward yourself so you can actually look to make sure you've got enough salt on there. Then you make a little pile. You can show the knife on both sides doing the paddle move. So as you turn the knife with your thumb, as you pivot it this way, you turn your wrist so that you show the same side of the knife on both sides of your hand. Okay? And the best knives for this are the rounded tip like this one, butter knives. It's better if they don't have the serrated edge on it. So if you can find a nice smooth butter knife, then you can't really tell one side from the other as easily. But if you do it quickly enough, it goes by most people. And then you wave the knife over the salt, and as you do that, you turn it over with your thumb, and that spot of salt appears on the blade of the knife. Now you're going to apparently wipe that off. As you wipe it off, you turn the knife again with your thumb, and you show the clean side. So you haven't wiped the salt off at all. You do it again, it jumps back. Then you say you can also do it on the other side. You wave it again, and now you show both sides of the knife with salt, again with the paddle move. So there's a spot of salt on both sides, and then you actually wipe it off. So that's the whole sequence for the magnetic knife with the salt. Then you go into the levitating salt shaker. And you'll need another toothpick for this, and you have to get it inside your hand so that it's hidden. And then you pick up the knife, and then you get that toothpick behind the knife, like so. So I've just placed it back behind the knife and I'm holding on to the end of it with my thumb and my index finger. And then as I bring the knife down against the top of the salt shaker, you'll notice the holes in the shaker. You want to go to the centermost hole and insert the toothpick behind the knife right into that hole until it wedges very tightly into place. And that's done while the knife is in front. Then you pick the knife up and the salt shaker will follow, held up by the toothpick. And then you push the knife down firmly against the salt shaker and slide the toothpick up with your thumb behind the knife. That disengages the whole thing. Now this can also be done behind your finger so that your finger actually picks up the salt shaker, which is also kind of weird, but I like to use the knife because of the magnetism from the salt to begin with. It kind of makes sense going into this one. So, and then you can just ditch the toothpick into your lap or get rid of it at any time. And now I'm going to eat the knife. And this is a great gag. It's my favorite dinner table gag to do because everybody thinks that you're not going to actually eat the knife, and you want to set them up as though it's just a joke. So you lay the knife across your hands, both of your hands or fingers together, palm up, but the end of the handle of the knife is showing just a little bit over your right thumb. Now it's very important that you show that as you bring it up so that they get the idea that they see the knife going up the whole time. So you do one take, you say, I'm really hungry, I'm not sure I can wait for dinner. Oh, I wouldn't actually eat the knife, it needs more salt. Then you put some salt on it. Then you do it again, they see the handle again, but it's slightly less, it's a little bit more inside your hand. Then you do this take, you say, you don't actually expect me to eat it. And as you say that, you drop your hands to the edge of the table level, and you lap the knife, which goes flat across both of your knees like this. So you say, you don't actually expect me to do that. The knife goes into your lap and you come up as though you're still holding the knife in the same position and bring it to your mouth where the blade of the knife would be. Open your mouth and then act like you're pushing it in, and then follow with the fingers of the right hand and then pull them out. So it looks like the knife goes into your mouth. Now, I don't like to bring it back after I do that. I like to just do the take, eat the knife. So I show the knife and say, you don't actually expect me to do that. And then you actually do it. Okay? So that's how I eat the knife, and I just leave it on my lap, and then maybe later on during the dinner or something like that, I'll sneak it back up onto the table as though I don't even notice that it's returned. And then the last thing is the vanishing salt shaker. Now, the way that this is normally done is with a coin underneath the salt shaker. But since I do a lot of these things in the same sequence, I end up with this pile of salt on the table. That's a nice focus point right there. And you'll also normally find it wrapped in a napkin to keep the form of the salt shaker throughout the whole thing. I've found that most shakers can be hidden very well with two hands like this, even the taller kind, where you wrap your right hand around the base of the shaker and then put your left hand over the top as though you're pressing onto the top of the shaker. So that's what I'm doing here. So I do a couple of takes, a couple of gags with the salt going right through the bottom, flashing the salt shaker a couple of times like that. Then I say, see, 2 grains of salt have gone. Now you'll notice where the salt shaker is. It's in a perfect position to be dropped right into my lap, but the top of it's still showing as I'm pointing here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come back as though I'm grabbing it with my left hand, and the moment that my left hand covers it, I drop the salt shaker into my lap. So it looks as though I come back and I bring it forward, but now there's no salt shaker there at all. So the moment that the left hand touches the salt shaker on top of the right, then I move forward, place it into position, and act like I'm pushing on it again. Then I blow the salt, and I say, I'm sorry, I blew a little bit too hard, and the salt shaker vanishes. Now there's still some salt here, so I'm going to do a slidini action where I relax, I take some of the salt, maybe throw it over my shoulder. That puts my left hand in position to pick up the salt shaker and get it as hidden as you can. Now, most of these are pretty bulky, so they're difficult to hide for a long time. So I like to bring both hands up together and immediately pull the shaker out, instead of trying to be too deceptive about how I palm it. It's a little awkward to do that. So it's better just to pick up the salt and immediately pull it out of your hand and show that it's returned.
this is a good way to get somebody's attention. Actually, there's two ways to do it. The first one, we've all seen this a million times before. That's how you get someone's attention, especially in a restaurant. And you follow it up by, oh, here's what you do. You say, this is a good way to get someone's attention. Here's a bad way to get someone's attention. Ooh, geez, like that, and you hit the bottom of it. That's not good. But if you do this and you twist it on there like that, and you have a lighter like this, you can actually, if I learn how to use this lighter, do this, and you melt it and weld it like this, and it goes back. Oops, hold on a second. There it is. As good as new. And that's called off base. Let me show you how it works. You need three things for this. You need a wine glass, you need a knife, and you need a lighter. That's it. That's all you need. Absolutely nothing more. Just those three things. I lied. Okay, you need one of these. You need an extra base that I made about 5 minutes ago out of Louis Falonga's fine wine glass and china set. He just found that out right about, I don't know, now? So here's what you do. You break off a glass with a hammer. You go down to the sidewalk and you make a lot of lines in there like a bunch of kids with chalk on the sidewalk. And you just keep doing this over and over again. He'll notice that later too. And what you're doing is you're shaving this down so you don't end up cutting yourself, okay? That's in your outside jacket pocket. This is in your outside jacket pocket. And everything else is already on the table. That's the nice part about this for restaurant work. So the knife's already there. The wine glass is over there. And you walk up to a table with this palmed in your left hand. Now, it's just kind of a modified, God, it's hard to even explain. Do that, okay? Do that move. So it looks very natural. You walk up to a table, you pick up the wine glass, and making sure that you don't make any noise here when this hits, you just come up over here like this, as I made a little noise. So you just come up over here like this. There's more ambient. La, 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 la. There's ambient noise in the background. Okay, perfect, just like that. Now, you're going to come up here, and nobody's going to be on my right, like she is right now. So, incidentally, when there's more ambient noise, you can actually put those together so they're coalesced evenly, okay? And you hold it fairly naturally like this, and I just do this. You don't have to say, here's how I get your attention. You just do this. That'll get their attention. Afterwards, you say, do I have your attention? Good, because this, and hit the bottom part with the knife. Just right there, let it fall at the same time. You go, oop, I think I have too much attention. Then you're going to put this onto the bottom of the, apparently the base over here, but you're not going to put it the way it would normally go, like this. You're going to put it this way. But during all that action, no one's really noticing that you did that, and you just start twisting, and you actually hear a grinding noise. That's a good thing. Now you come up over here, tilt or cock your wrist, hiding this extra piece here. Put it in your pocket as you reach for the lighter, making sure that they don't clink. Open up the lighter, flick your, we won't call it Bic here, come over here and make it look as though you're welding it on there. And now you look like you're adjusting a little bit, and here's the subtlety here. Put it down on the table and do this. Oops, hold on. Like it wasn't in the right position. This is padded right now, so it's hard to really get it to fall unless you tilt it way over. But on a regular table, you can get it to tilt from here, and it falls on its own. You go, oop, hold on a sec. Like you're readjusting it, and perfect, as good as new. That's called off base for obvious reasons. The last thing I wanted to say is that I put that trick off base in a one-man issue of the Magic Menu in about 1996 or so. So look it up if you need more details. But I think you should have garnered enough information from here. And in Lewis's own words, that's worth the price of the tape for a restaurant worker. I hope you get, hope you see as much value in it as I did when I used to do restaurants.
This is one you're going to love. Kids love this. I've done shows, a half-hour, hour show, and this is what they remember. And this is very easy to do. And I'm doing here, you'll see in a minute, it's starting to take shape. And what we have is a little mouse. I'm trying to get his ears nice and big here. There we go. There's his little head. There's his little ears. There's a little tail. Oops. Oops.
Wow! It scared me.
It was supposed to. Now, one thing that I always do with a napkin or a handkerchief, not a paper napkin, but a cocktail napkin, is a mouse. I usually like to make a little mouse for children. This is very simple. You lay the handkerchief down, it's folded in half. The left side is brought in. Now, this would be the center point right here. It's brought over just a little bit more than center. I'd say about an inch, inch and a half. You do the same thing with the right side. Now you start rolling away from you into a tube, and you get up to this point where your folds stop, right here. Now you pick it up and put your fingers on the face, on this face, the back side, and roll this around your fingertips. You're putting your fingertips here and you're rolling it around your fingertips until you can grip the whole thing with this thumb. Now this little ear hanging out is tucked up inside this little fold, this round fold. It's tucked in, and now you roll this part backwards, and you continue to roll, and you continue to push in. You have like a little donut here. You're rolling this top section back, and you're rolling it in itself. And you continue to roll until you see these edges come up. And as soon as you do, you know that the body of the mouse is already properly rolled, and all that we have left now here is those two corner end pieces. So you sort of break these open so that you have a tail here and a tail here with a neat little bundle in the center. Now you sort of separate one of these tails, you pull it open, and then I just usually spin it around a couple times like this. And then you just maneuver and manipulate these two little end pieces so that they resemble the ears of the mouse. Some people tie this in a knot. I find it's very difficult too because you don't have much material here to tie. But the main thing that you want to do is just get the impression of a head with little ears. Okay, I've just tied a knot there. You got the little ears, the head, the body, and the tail. And as soon as it's made, just set it in your hand so that it's lying right over your center finger. And this finger is right at the base of the body and the tail. And then this hand comes over the top as though you're petting it. And then whenever you wish, this center finger pushes the back of the napkin and forces it forward. And you pull it back again. That's the only movement. Now, once it starts to act like it's alive, you come towards your chest and you do not change the position of this hand. This hand and this finger are always used for kicking. So when it moves this way a couple times, you bring it up to your chest, and now it starts to go up your coat. And what you're doing is you're just riding the back of the napkin up your coat. So it looks like this. Now, you can also use this finger to lift the tail. If you're petting it here, you can do this. Bring the tail down, it moves forward, and sometimes if it moves too much, you can actually catch it by the tail. I shot it too far, and that's actually the end of the routine. This is the part that usually makes the women fly off their chairs. Once you've done this a couple times, like you're petting it, and it goes, oops, and it goes up your coat, I usually point it right at the woman, and then go, wow! And that's usually when they fly through the roof, and then you have to call the janitor to clean the floor, but it's really funny.
I'm sure you've both eaten at marvelous restaurants all over the world, and I'm sure you've noticed that some people leave small tips, other people leave larger tips, and some people leave tips in very unusual places. I was in a restaurant just the other day. I sat down to eat, and I noticed a pack of cigarettes there, and when I moved it aside, there was a coin under the pack of cigarettes. Now that's a half a dollar, a 50-cent piece of silver coin. I mean, it's actually valuable, so I thought I would keep it. And then just for the heck of it, I figured, well, why not try the ashtray? And amazingly, there was another coin under the ashtray. Well, at this point, things were getting a little bit interesting, so I tried the pepper. Incredibly, there was a coin under the pepper. Well, there was only one thing I could do at that point. Try the salt, of course. Got to try the salt. Well, this was getting really, really interesting, so let me get rid of that one. It's okay, because there's another one under the cigarettes. As a matter of fact, yes, I do have another one under the pepper, which is pretty amazing. There's one under the cup as well. Here's another one under the salt shaker, which is just great. I do have another one underneath the ashtray, which is wonderful. Yeah, there's another one under the cigarettes. Yeah, there's another one under there. This is really amazing. Well, this is how I'm going to pay for the meal. Absolutely right. Do I have one there? Yes, there's another one over there. Yes, there's another one over there. Unbelievable. There was another one over there. There wasn't over there. There isn't. Yes, there's another one over there. Yes, there's one under the cup. That's great. And I tell you something, if you think the customers are strange in this restaurant, wait till you meet the baker, because there's even a coin in this dinner roll. And that's when I got up and left. This will be the explanation for the free and unlimited coinage of silver, an effect that J.B. Bobo, who wrote Modern Coin Manipulation, described as the nonpareil of after-dinner tricks. It was first seen by T. Nelson Downs when he was in Vienna. He saw a street magician perform it at a outside cafe. And in the original version, what you would do is, once again, taking advantage of the time factor and the informality of a meal situation, I'm going to start off with 6 coins. You can start off with these coins with, let's say, a few coins in your lap lined up on either thigh, 2 coins on each thigh, and 2 coins palmed, one in the right hand, one in the left hand. You're going to load these coins under objects on the table in the act of picking up the objects and handling them. This is to be done toward the end of the meal, when you know that people won't be handling these objects as much themselves because the meal is over, and also this is the best time to perform the effect. With the coins in classic palm position, the loading move, and the load is the same no matter what the object used is this. In the case of a salt shaker, the coin, which is classic palmed, is dropped behind the object onto the table, and the object is simply lifted very slightly, only at the back end, not lifted like this, but only at the back end, drawn over the object and set down. Of course, you want to make sure, before you start this trick, during the meal, which objects are suitable for loading. In other words, which objects have concave bottoms, so that the coin won't talk. Or, if the object is soft, paper or cardboard, once again, the object won't make any noise when you load the coin underneath it. So you want to load the salt shaker, load the pepper shaker the same way with the coin from the left hand. Push them forward, relax, drop to your lap again, palm 2 more coins, one in the right hand, one in the left hand. Reach for the coffee cup, bring that over the coin. Reach for the sugar bowl, bring that over the coin. Once again, drop to your lap, pick up the objects, get a coin in each hand. You might want to load the ashtray as you bring this over. You might want to load the cigarettes. Fine. When you're finally ready to perform, you get an extra coin into your hand from your pockets, and notice I've routined it so that I have coins in my pockets that make noise, because you want to give the impression as you put the coins away that you're going to produce or find under these objects that you have a lot of coins. So you need some coins in your pockets to make noise. When you want to start, and you have to pick the right time. Remember, in all of these after-dinner tricks, you have to pick your moment. If the conversation is serious, you don't want to do any magic. Even if the conversation isn't serious, but you sense that the time isn't right, don't do the trick. There's nothing worse than good magic at the wrong time. So, with a coin loaded underneath all of these objects, you are ready to perform some fascinating magic. What you can do, as I did in the performance, is I talked about the various ways that people leave tips, the strange places that they leave them. Some people simply present this as sort of a miser's dream, where they are consciously making the coins appear under the objects. Other people present it as a sort of comedy of errors, where the coins are appearing and things are getting slightly out of control. However, in the original version that T. Nelson Downs saw in Vienna and purchased the secret from the magician and included it in his book, The Art of Magic, What you do is you actually display a visible coin to the spectators, and you ask them to point to an object on the table. Let's say they point to the ashtray. You do a pass with the coin. You can do a retention vanish, you can do a classic palm vanish, you can do a finger palm French drop vanish, any type of a vanish that leaves the coin in the right hand. Make a tossing motion toward that object, and then lift the ashtray, showing that the coin has in fact traveled underneath. In the act of putting down the ashtray, you can draw it back over the coin. And from there you continue. You pick up the coin and ask someone to point to another object. You take this coin, you vanish it, send it under the pepper shaker, lift it up showing that it's arrived there. And once again, drawing the salt, the pepper shaker over the coin, loading another one underneath. In the presentation that I did, I talked about the various places that people leave tips. And first I moved the cigarettes aside, loading this coin as I revealed this one. And I looked at the coin, I said, well, it's a silver coin, I think I'll keep it. And I put it in my pocket, but I palmed it right out again. Then I said, well, let's see, the cigarettes had something, let's try the ashtray. I lifted up the ashtray, and again, in the very act of revealing the coin, you can load another one underneath. And I show this coin. This coin goes into the left pocket. As you come out of the left pocket with the coin palmed, you say you want to try the pepper. Lift up the pepper shaker, revealing the coin. This time, as the right hand reaches over for the coin, the left hand draws the pepper shaker back over. It's a very, very clean load. Show the coin, palm it as you put it into the right pocket, letting it clink with the coins that are there. Now things start to happen at a brisker pace. You can try the coffee cup and reveal the coin as you load one underneath in exactly the same way. Apparently put that in your pocket. Try the salt shaker, and as you pick that up, you draw it back over the coin, loading the salt shaker. Put this one away. Go for the sugar bowl, lift that one up, drop the coin behind it, bring the sugar bowl over the coin as the right hand reaches for the coin. Put the coin away, letting it clink with the coins there. At one point, you want to start to give the impression that the coins are appearing faster than you can put them away. And you do that by revealing a coin, but not picking it up. Don't put it away. Simply leave the coin there. Then perhaps reveal one under the cup. Load one from your palm underneath the cup as you put this one away. Then lift up the ashtray. You're palming it out each time, of course. Lift up the ashtray, revealing the coin, but leave it on the table as you draw the ashtray back over, loading the coin. Lift up the cigarettes, revealing that there was coin underneath the cigarettes. Put that one away, but palm it out again, always clinking as you go into the pockets. Again, reveal one, not under the salt shaker, but this time, yes, under the pepper shaker. And then perhaps back underneath the ashtray. Leave that one in view. Draw the ashtray back over the palm coin. You're always producing coins and loading coins, but as you do this, you are leaving some coins on the table. So slowly there's an accumulation as coins come out. You're lifting things up, revealing coins, reloading, lifting things up, and either leaving the coin there, giving the impression that the coins are appearing, or putting them into your pocket and palming them back out. At this point, you've got coins here, you've got a coin over here, nothing else. You've produced these coins all over the table. You want to bring the trick to a satisfactory conclusion. The classical method for concluding this effect is to reach for a dinner roll and break it open and find a coin inside. This is a wonderful, wonderful finish for the effect because it's entirely consistent with handling objects at the table. And there are two ways to do this. Without a doubt, the cleanest way, and once again, taking advantage of the fact that during the meal it's very easy for you to steal a bread roll, put it in your lap, jam a coin right into it as I have done, keep this roll in your lap throughout the meal with the coin inside, and normally this would be a much bigger bread basket with more rolls in it. When the time is right, you sort of hold that roll in your hand, do it when nobody's looking, possibly when the waitress comes over to serve something, and go right back into the bowl as you take out another roll and perhaps ask if somebody wants one, take it for yourself, put it on the bread plate, and the loaded roll has been replaced back in the bowl. And finally, when you want to end the trick, you make some comment, as I said, about if you think the customers are strange, you ought to meet the baker, pick up the roll with the coin inside. You're going to push your fingers into the top, breaking the crust so that you can push up on the coin with your fingers, pushing it up into view and out through the top of the roll as if it was actually inside. Let it clatter to the table, drop the roll, collapse back into the chair. It's a wonderful finish for the routine. However, If you don't want to load the roll previously, you can do exactly the same thing by pure sleight of hand in effect. All you need to do is to have a coin classic palmed in the right hand, one of the many that you've put back in your pocket and palmed out. When you feel the time is right, let the coin drop to the fingertips, fingertip rest position. Take the roll from the basket with your left hand, put it right on the fingers, right there on top of the roll, and push the coin up into the roll. This is not difficult, and then as you break the coin, break the roll, the coin is revealed, apparently on the inside. Continue to do the break. There is the coin. The effect is the same. It's a wonderful finish. It's the free and unlimited coinage of silver. It's a routine that you can see has to vary considerably depending on the surface of the table. You must have a tablecloth, the various objects on the table, and whether or not they can be loaded without making any noise. Of course, if the restaurant happens to have background noise, either from people talking or from a jukebox or a band, that's always helpful. Keep the routine moving. Keep jingling the coins in your pockets as you put them away. Don't forget to leave some coins on the table toward the end of the routine so you can end with a plethora of coins on the table, finishing up with the dinner roll, the free and unlimited coinage of silver, the nonpareil of after-dinner tricks. I'd like to point out that in the original version of this effect, the one that T. Nelson Downs saw performed in Vienna, after the performer had vanished the coin, making it appear under various objects that the spectators had selected, and then he would take the coin and vanish it again, asking them to point to another object. It apparently was a single coin routine. The coin vanishes, it's under the object they point to. This coin vanishes, it's under the object they point to. But they only see one coin at a time. The finish for that routine, and it's a very effective finish, is to quickly lift many objects on the table, 5 or 6 like this, revealing coins under each. A wonderful finish. It was the professor's idea, Di Vernon, when he routined this effect. He was thinking of what could be a better finish. He not only came up with the idea of the coin from the dinner roll, an idea that was suggested to him by Fawcett Ross, but the professor is also responsible for the stratagem of leaving the coins on the table as you produce them. You continue to pocket some, but you leave others on the table, giving the impression that the coins are appearing faster than you can put them away, which is exactly what you saw during the performance. That's a wonderful wrinkle, and you can see it's a totally different approach to the trick. Instead of making coins travel from your hand, vanish to appear under an object, this is in effect a miniature miser's dream routine, where it's a coin production that appears to be getting slightly out of hand. The professor had a wonderful analysis on this, and using his method you can do this routine as almost anywhere as long as the conditions are right, and by that I mean the right surface for dropping the coin and the right objects for loading the coin. And that is my explanation of the free and unlimited coinage of silver.